Now, as some of you may have seen some of a couple of, shall we say, comments from the orange-haired dumpster fire, well, let's go through each one of them and try to debunk each one of them.
But you have certain groups, the Amish as an example, they have essentially no autism.
Well, the Amish probably do actually, just they don't have the way to detect it. They don't have the rigorous ways that people in the English community, as the Amish would say. Now, this isn't a dunk on the Amish. All my shepherd's crooks that I get, they're from the Amish. I'm not here to dunk on that way of life. Just pointing out there's a reason why they don't have it. They don't detect it because they have no need to. But that doesn't mean it's not there.
The use of well, let's see how we say that. Acetaminophen. Is that okay? Which is basically commonly known as Tylenol. During pregnancy can be associated with a very increased risk of autism. So taking Tylenol is not good. All right, I'll say it. It's not good.
Okay, first of all, if you can't say acetaminophen, you shouldn't be holding a press conference. But as for the link, well, they're probably referring to this. This was an actual study that was done back in 2019 that apparently does show a link. However, first of all, I was always a bit dubious about it. Second of all, I was only informed about it until I found this.
Attention, parents of children with autism. Did you or your spouse take over-the-counter medication while pregnant? If so, you may be entitled to a substantial cash award without going to court. Recent evidence suggests that autistic children whose mothers took certain kinds of over-the-counter medication while pregnant may be more likely to develop autism. Certain kinds of over-the-counter medication contains acetaminophen, which may increase the risk of autism by 20%. Stores selling these medications include Walgreens, Walmart, Target, Kroger, Safeway, Vons, Albertsons, and many others. If your child has autism and you took over-the-counter medication while pregnant, call the Negligence Network right now. The consultation is free and there's no fee unless we win your case. No matter how young or old your child is, you may still be able to file a claim. If your child has autism and the child's mother took over-the-counter medications while pregnant, call now to find out how much your case is worth for free. Call 1-800-700-3993. That's 1-800-700-3993.
Now, I should warn you that what a lot of people on the autism spectrum first saw, they thought that was ableism. I'm going to be a bit blunt with you. This sort of comes from the fact that I come from a family of lawyers and I follow a lot of lawyer trivia. And also, I'm a child of the 90s. It's not ableism. At least, it's not intended to be ableism. What it is a formula that has been going on since the 80s of legal class action lawsuit infomercials. It is a formula. They use both a lot of legalese that also benefit as trendy buzzwords. Pain and suffering. All that stuff, it goes back to the 80s. And if you're a child of the 90s, you've seen all those legal infomercials. Now, should law firms be using that formula? No. I'm just gonna set it out there. No, they need to get into the 2020s. They need to get out of the 1990s infomercials and into the 2020s of just a different way of doing things. For starters, it kind of looks scammy, and in this case, it looks ableist. But it looks ableist even though it isn't. And it only looks scammy even though it isn't scammy. But it looks ableist, and scammy. So just get with the times. That said, they did point out the Johns Hopkins University study. And this reminds me, and when I was first saw those scenarios, I would point out, this reminds me of this person. This guy. If you don't know who he is, his name is Andrew Wakefield. And in 1998, he published an article that has since been redacted in The Lancet, where he claimed that vaccines cause autism. And I pointed out with that whole new Tylenol scenario, I feared that this was that whole 1998 bunk study all over again. Oh, and if you want to know who I'm covering up, looky! Seems familiar, right? But here I am, having just knowing the fact that that study into the 2019 would prove to be tenuous at best. If nothing else, if you look at the timeline, autism was first categorized in the 1940s, and acetaminophen wasn't available to anybody until the 1950s. You have a problem. And just as I thought, here we go again. Now, acetaminophen is a useful tool. It has its uses, it has its limitations. It has been proven numerous times to cause a variety of different problems, primarily with the liver. So if you want to sue the makers of Tylenol for that scenario, knock yourself out. Sue the pants off of them. Sue their house, their car, their wife, for all I care. Take them to the cleaners. I don't. But if you're going to sue them for the right reasons. And one of them, and autism, is just not one of them. It does not cause autism.